All right, boys and girls, today we're gonna draw and make an eye of a dragon. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a blank page. You can use the back of one or a new page. And I'm gonna open it up so I have it all ready for me to draw. So we're gonna make the eye of a dragon. So I'm gonna start with pencil, and then you're gonna see me switch to marker and color pencil. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do my underdrawing. That way I have a base of where I'm gonna add my dragon eye. So the first thing we're gonna draw is the actual eye shape. And it kind of reminds me of a lemon or a football. So you're gonna draw it nice and big because it's gonna take up the whole paper. And, let me fold this back. There we go. Now we can really see. So now I'm gonna draw a big curved line right in the middle of my page. So with my pencil, I draw a nice big curved line back and forth. Hopefully you can see that. And then I draw another curved line right below. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a dragon. He doesn't have a perfect eye. All right, so now we're gonna draw the pupil. So the pupil is actually what you see out of. So it's gonna be black, and because he's a dragon, he's gonna have a different shaped pupil than we will. So if you want him to be really cute, you can do a circle if you want to. But if you want him to be kind of ferocious and very like a dragon, then you're gonna make something that kind of looks like another football shape but skinnier. Okay, and you can alter it and make it different any way you want. So you can make it come down and up, or what I did is I kind of did looks like a Christmas ornament. So that's what my shape's gonna be. So it's still gonna be like a football shape, but I went in and out a little bit more. So I'm going in and back out and back in. So you can erase or draw it a few times if you wish. Okay, so now I have the basic shapes of my eye, and now I'm gonna add more details. So he's gonna have some scales because he's a dragon. Now you can think of any kind of dragon you want. You can have him have feathers, scales. You can be completely original and up to you, or you can make him as dragon-like as you want. So a dragon usually has scales. So I'm gonna add just a row or shape around my dragon. So I'm just following the shape of his eye and just adding another shape around it. And I'm gonna do this 2 times just so I can draw some scales. All right, so now I have the underdrawing of my dragon, and now it's time to get my details in. So I'm gonna now switch because I don't need to do underdrawing anymore. I'm now gonna do the real thing, and I'm gonna start to pick the color of my dragon. So, what color is he gonna be? I think I'm gonna make my dragon orange. You probably knew that because that's my favorite color in the whole wide world. So I'm gonna go with orange. So I'm using a Sharpie, but if you wanna use any marker or just a dark crayon, you can use that too. I have a scrap paper that I like to stick underneath my drawings just in case if I go off. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to go around the outside of my eye and start to add my scales. Now I'm doing this in marker because I'm gonna make it nice and dark. So all I'm pretty much doing is drawing a whole bunch of squares all the way around the eye. Now if they're not perfect, if they're a little bit more rounded, that's okay too. You don't have to make them perfect. So I'm just going around the eye, kind of like bricks. So I'm just making them as neat as I can. And sometimes they're not squares at all. Like that one was like a little triangle. And sometimes I like to go all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these. Okay, now I'm gonna add a second row. This time they're gonna be a little bit bigger. Already starting to look like a dragon. Now what I might do is I might do some smaller ones right around here. then you know what I might do? I'm gonna add some lines right here on the sides. Okay, then I'm gonna fill up the rest of him with bigger scales. Now that he has his scales done, I'm going to start to focus on the eye. Now today's lesson is actually about analogous colors. So these are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So I'm going to pick orange, and I'm going to pick its two neighbors. So orange is next to yellow, and it's also next to red. So these are the only colors I can use today, are three analogous colors, okay? Now I might use a touch of black for the actual inside of the iris, but I'm only allowed to use these three colors today to make my piece. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna start to fill in the eye and add more detail using these three colors. Right, so now that I have it outlined and I have my analogous colors, I'm gonna color using color pencils. And again, I'm gonna stick with my analogous colors. So that means I can only use orange, yellow, and red. So those are the colors I will stick with. And you'll notice that I'll put some little highlights and shadows, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm gonna start, we gotta find my red real quick, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some orange, and I'll zoom in so you can see. I'll do this one right here. So I start by coloring it in orange, just normal pressure. And then what I'm gonna do is the color, darker color next to it, red, is I'm just gonna do the edges. And keep that center nice and light. Just like that. So I'll show you again. So color it in lightly. And then next color, nice and dark around the edges. It's like I'm coloring in a circle. Go back with my orange. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do this to all of my scales and the inside of the eye. So here I go. Boys and girls, I'm all finished coloring. I added some white back to the eye as a little shine spot. So it's all finished. Hope you guys enjoyed it and had fun. I know I did. See you later.